Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is May Wonders, and if you're new, as always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, turn on the notification bell so you're notified every time there's a new video from me, as well as give this video a big fat thick thumbs up if you did enjoy. Now in today's video, it's an interesting one for all my new moms, for all the people who are expecting. Congratulations to you. As well as if you just basically stumbled upon this video and you would really like to get to know this kind of thing, then do enjoy. So basically grab your wine, your drink, your shams, your coke, your coffee, your water, whatever it is, and let's dive into some of the things they don't really talk about during pregnancy. A little bit about the fourth trimester. Well, actually a lot about the fourth trimester. The fourth trimester is basically once you've given birth, because there's a lot that actually happens. A lot of people seem to believe that the fourth trimester is basically the hardest, because now your life has basically drastically changed forever. Literally forever. Anything and everything that you do is basically now about baby. If you want to go out, you need to make sure that baby's fine. Someone that you trust there for baby and all that jazz. So let's get into the video before I start rambling, because there's actually a lot I want to talk about, but I'm gonna minimize it and kind of make it in a nice nutshell so you guys get the gist without being bombarded with too much information. So let's get started. Is about breasts, okay? Everything and anything about breasts. Now, when you are not pregnant, first of all, let's start there. When you are not pregnant, your breasts are absolutely fine. You are told to massage your breasts on a regular basis. That's for cancer. So just, I'm not really a doctor or anything here, but just some general knowledge from what I know. So you're basically supposed to massage your breasts, make sure there's no lumps or bumps in your breasts, you know, the tissues, all that jazz. So your breasts are basically fine before you're pregnant. Right, now for pregnant, when you fall pregnant, your breasts start to feel sore, a little tingly. That's the early signs of pregnancy. Then you jump into leaking. Now my breasts started leaking while I was pregnant. That's something they don't really talk about. That's something people don't really mention about pregnancy, that you could wake up with your linen wet, but milk is being produced inside your breasts, and I guess maybe I'm pushing on them or something happens and then they cause them to leak, right? So that's that. So that's during pregnancy, you're leaking. Now fourth trimester, once you've actually given birth, they leak even worse, and that's why you wear breast pads. Now I personally think if I had known, I would have worn breast pads, excuse me, during my pregnancy, only for the times I go to sleep, because I found that every time I wake up, there's random days where I'd wake up and my PJ top would be wet, or the linen as well would be wet, or my pillowcase would be wet. I don't know. So I would definitely advise, if you are up for it, if they're leaking a little too excessive, wear breast pads. Right. Also about breastfeeding, about breasts, is breastfeeding. Now when I started breastfeeding, it was okay, right? In the hospital I started breastfeeding, everything was fine. My milk wasn't as strong as it became when I got home. So in the beginning, it's like a little bit, it's like watery consistency, and then the milk starts really coming in, then it starts becoming real thick. Another thing that really helped me with breastfeeding was pumping my milk. Encouraged it to come more. So the more I pumped, the more milk I would have, and the thicker it became. The color, right? Like it became more milky. Now breastfeeding is painful. It was painful for me. You get cracked nipples, really sore nipples, and sometimes they could even bleed. That's why there's things like nipple cream and all of that jazz. So I had cracked nipples, and it really did take a toll on me, because I felt like I couldn't do it. And all I'm saying to all the new moms, just keep pushing, push through that. After every feed, just apply the nipple cream. Trust me, it gets better after a while. I don't want to say after how long, because you know everyone's different, but it does get better. Try pumping, because the pain of pumping isn't as bad as the pain of breastfeeding, but you know sometimes you don't have time to pump because everything just becomes so hectic. But yeah, breastfeeding, they really don't talk about how painful it is, but it's actually very hard. Yeah, the new reality. Now in the 4th trimester, okay, let's just back up before we get to the 4th trimester. So before you're pregnant, you're basically living for you. You can do whatever you want. You can just get up and go to the mall, or get up and go to work, or you have classes since you're in uni, or whatever your case is. You're doing things personally for yourself, right? Then you fall pregnant. Now you start to become slow. That's now your new reality. Your hips are now a bit sore because the belly is heavy. Your legs sometimes can get swollen. You are sensitive to heat. You sweat quite easily. You perspire rather quite easily. And you are generally a little bit slower, right? So that's now your new reality as a pregnant person. Come 4th trimester, everything switches. You now have to wake up early. You have almost little to no sleep, and everything you do is for your child, right? And around your child. So my new reality as a new mom now is everything I do, I need to make sure that it's on my baby's schedule, right? That's how we work around this house now. And it can take a toll on you sometimes because you're very confused. Your friends could be confused, your family, people around you may not understand. And sometimes I personally feel like the people who only understand my schedule are other moms, right? Other moms are the only ones, and moms that are new moms, right? Not moms who have kids my age, or kids, you know, in their teens or whatever. But people who are new moms are the ones who understand what you're going through. And the new reality is I have to wake up exceptionally early because baby's awake. Sometimes I don't get rest. I'm exhausted half the time. I'm tired, and I couldn't even be bothered to put makeup on. I couldn't be bothered to even look cute because I've got burp all over my clothes. And I saw this on one of my friends' Instagrams. She's also a new mom. Shout outs. She said normalize packing an extra outfit for you as well. So not just packing an outfit for your baby, but pack another outfit for you as well, because guess what, baby's probably gonna burp all over that cute little blouse you have on, honey. And yeah, it's a mess. It's honestly a mess. And I now get and understand why so many new moms look a mess, because literally life has been turned upside down for you. So I salute all the moms that make it look glamorous, because that must be difficult. Unless obviously you have a lot of help, then it's very different for you, honey. Anyway, another thing I failed to mention with the breast part is it's so difficult to wear certain tops, certain outfits, because you're literally wearing basically the same bras, which are mom bras, because you're leaking and you need space for your breast pads. So you can't really wear the same bras that you used to wear, and life is just basically not the same. You can't wear the same little dinky tops that you used to wear because you're leaking literally everywhere. Anyway, moving right along. The next thing I want to talk about is the healing process and the period that you get after not having a period for literally 9 to 10 months. Now, you could go for even longer, which is maybe 10 to 11 months not having a period. You could go after giving birth at least 6 weeks after giving birth to have your period again. Some get it longer. I know somebody who didn't have their period for at least a year after giving birth, and it's completely normal, so do not be alarmed. But do know this: you are at your most fertile right now, so just be careful. Okay. Anyway, getting your period after giving birth. Now, I'm not talking about, obviously, as soon as you give birth, you have to wear pads because all the gunk, well, not the gunk, but baby was around blood and water. So all of that needs to drain out before you get your first period. So that drainage can take another 2-3 weeks, maybe 6 weeks if you're not lucky. For me, it took about 2 weeks. I bled for about 2 weeks and it was over. I'd say actually a week and a half. The last little bits of days was just little dirt, nothing major. Hopefully the dog is not annoying you guys. Anyway, so the healing process. I did not know how hectic the healing process was. I can't even start to explain what you're going through, how you need to now take care of this new baby, and you need to heal your body at the same time. And all of a sudden there's 50 billion things to do, and at the same time all you want to do is crash in your bed and sleep, and you're in pain. And so all I can say to new moms is take your time. If I knew something, is if someone could just tell me to take your time. Take your time. You're doing exceptionally well. There is no handbook that tells you how to do it right or wrong. Just take your time. Now, I know that I've started gym, and I've started gym because I want to feel better. I want to feel healthier, not just for the looks. The looks is obviously one of the things I'm doing it for, but I also want to feel better. I want to feel stronger for my baby. I feel that when I go gym, as much as right now this first week is painful and it's sore, I know that after the fact, I will feel so much lighter on my feet, of which I really need to. I'll be stronger and I'll be quicker as well, of which I think is so great. And to also eat. To eat regularly is really important. I can't stress that enough. So those are just a few things that I would advise for you guys that also helps with the healing process. But also, before I fail to mention, gym is not allowed after at least 4 to 6 weeks after you've given birth. So that's another thing. Another thing about the 4th trimester is you constantly feel overwhelmed. You constantly feel swamped with things to do and tired. You just want to break down and cry. I think if I could advise somebody, please cry. If you feel like crying, if you feel like just taking a second to just bawl your eyes out, do it, because it honestly helps. I don't know what it is about crying that is just so therapeutic. It really does, because after crying you get yourself back up and you're like, okay, and you try again, and it's like a hit. It's like there's a brick in front of you that just you keep knocking yourself onto it. Literally for the first 12 weeks there's a huge brick that you're constantly just knocking on. And if it means cry 50 times, cry 50 times. Sometimes if it means cry while your baby's crying because you don't know why they're crying, cry. It really does help, and it really does make you feel better. Take a bath. Put a young bath bomb in there to relax yourself while baby's taking a nap. This thing of people saying nap while your baby's napping is honestly the biggest myth in life. I've only started doing that now because now I've got a rhythm and I've started to understand their rhythm. before I didn't understand baby's rhythm. Baby didn't have a rhythm. Baby didn't understand what the difference was between day and night. So how do I sleep while they're sleeping? Because I've got 50 billion things to do. So with that being said, we now understand each other, okay? So now I can take cheeky little naps with baby, because I understand, okay, right now I know he's gonna sleep for a good 2-3 hours. At night I know he can sleep for a good 5 to 7 hours. You know, we've gotten into that mojo, so it's great. But in the beginning, no. Talk about is how you feeling emotionally and mentally. So first, you are excited, you're overjoyed that you just found out these great news that you're pregnant, right? So you've got a mix of emotions, right? You could want to cry, you could want to scream, you could be having an anxiety hit because you don't know how you're going to take care of a baby. What is your new reality going to be? What are you going to do? The finances, a lot of things could be happening when you just found out you're pregnant, right? So that's all your emotions and what's happening to you mentally. Moving into, you're now anxious to actually give birth because you're tired and you're exhausted from this 9 to 10 months that you've carried this beautiful bundle of joy. Moving into the 4th trimester, which I really don't know how to even explain mentally how you're doing. Now, there's 2 things. Some women go through postpartum depression and other women go through natal depression, which is during your pregnancy. Now, on the 4th trimester, which is once you've given birth, you could feel a lot of things. You could feel like you just need some peace and quiet. You don't need baby to cry. You don't need no one calling you. You don't want nothing. Or you could feel like you need all the help you could get and you feel like nobody understands you. You could feel confused. Your hormones are still doing this. Plus you bleeding. Plus your nipples are just cracked and sore. Plus there's a human that wants your attention 24/7. And there's no time for yourself. There's no time for you. There's no time for you to do the things you've wanted to do. Trust me, mentally you're exhausted. For me, what I would say as a word of advice that would help is try talking to someone outside of this whole situation, but somebody who has personally gone through it and someone who has gone through it within the last 2 to 3 months of the time you've given birth. If you don't have someone in that range, maybe a year, but try find someone who's not too far off of the time they gave birth. So that person shouldn't have like a teenage child, but rather an infant. If not an infant, a toddler, but they can still talk to you and engage with you some of the things they went through as well. It really does help talking about it because mentally it makes you feel okay. It stabilizes you. It makes you understand that, listen, I'm not going crazy, I'm not going mental. And I do feel that people that haven't gone through it do not quite understand the levels that you are going through, the mental breakdowns that you have in a day. Like you can have 60,000 mental breakdowns in one day and it's literally 4 a.m. Okay, so I do think having a friend or making a new friend, finding somebody different, even if talking to just random people on Instagram, literally that's what I did. That's what I went through and it really helped. And you realize that there's nothing that's a myth. Talking about when you have a baby, like everything is open, literally it's an open book. I want to talk about morning sickness. Now, before I was pregnant, I understood morning sickness to be in the morning, literally you wake up and you vomit, because that's what everybody makes it seem, or everyone says, right? But that's not the case. Morning sickness is actually the early stages of your pregnancy, right? So where did we get this idea that you wake up in the morning and you vomit? I really don't know, but I just wanted to share that with you guys as well, because I did not know. And you can have morning sickness throughout your pregnancy, some people can have, and then there's this annoying hangover feeling where you just constantly feel like constantly you feel like there's something up your throat that's just nasty. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I'm definitely going to make a part 2. I can't make it right now because I just heard somebody's awake. So new reality. And don't forget to leave anything that you would like for me to answer in the next video in the comment section. Bye.